So we got a huge bombshell of news today from Funimation. If you're not aware, which I don't know how you're not, but there for a few weeks now, Vic Mignogna has been hit with these allegations of inappropriate behavior and possible sexual assault on people from cons and other VAs. And so we know that he got fired from Ruby and from that what's it called, the show, the Morose Mononokean season 2. So he got fired from those. Then we got this tweet from Funimation stating this, saying, "Everyone, we wanted to give you an update on the Vic Mignogna situation. Following an investigation, Funimation recast Vic Mignogna in Morose Mononokean season 2. Funimation will not be engaging Mignogna in future productions." So this has tons of people with tons of questions, because we just don't. This gives us information, but it raises more questions than it answers. And some questions I don't think will ever get answered. Like, what did they find? Because if you remember, to backtrack a little bit, there were those allegations from people from cons, and then we started having people from the anime industry come in and give in their 2 cents. Like Monica Red started with saying that she stands by the survivors, and then later on, after a lot of people bombarding her with information of why she's standing this way and all that, she finally came out and says, "You know what? This happened to me. I had some sort of inappropriate encounter, or that I felt was inappropriate encounter with Vic Mignogna, and that's why she knows that, that's why she stands with these survivors." And then to go with that as well, we had another voice actress, Jamie Marchi, and she wrote something, and hers is a lot longer, and she actually explains, it goes into detail of what happened. And I'm just gonna read a few parts from her statement. It's a really long, and I'm not even gonna read everything that I post up on the video. But he goes on, but she says that, as we said hello, he stood to the side of me and started running his fingers through my hair. Now, I do work in an affectionate industry. We hug a lot, and on occasion we kiss on the cheek. But even for an affectionate environment, this felt off. Then she goes on to say, he then jerked his fist, yanking my head backwards and towards him, and whispered something in my ear. I don't remember what he said specifically, but I do remember it being sexual in nature. This was not normal. This was not just a hug or a kiss on the cheek. I did not like it. I have no memory of getting out of his grasp, but I assume what the F are you doing was part of the technique. So, and she go in her full story, or her full statement, you can find on Anime News Network. So we have all this coming through, and so they probably interviewed her more, I'm assuming, Jamie and Monica Real, and may have done other stuff to get to the conclusion, or to get to the decision of not wanting to work with Vic anymore. Now, this has a lot of repercussions on it, which, like I said, I'm just stating facts of what's going to happen. So what this means is, Vic Mignogna, if they're going to redo this Dragon Ball Super Broly movie in the anime when Super comes back, he's going to be recasted. If they do a retelling of it, which they might, because we know that movie, that Akira Toriyama wanted to be 3 hours long, or based on his original script, it was going to be about 3 hours long. So there's a possibility that it could be adapted in the anime version. That means he's not going to be in there. Fruits Basket just a sign. Fruits Basket just got a new anime to retell the actual manga, everything from the manga. Same thing, Ouran High School. If Ouran High School were to get the same treatment, I think it's more unlikely, but if it were to get that same treatment, then Tamaki would be replaced, because Vic Mignogna played Tamaki, and so he would have to get someone else for him. And a lot of his fame, or a lot of his work, comes from Funimation. So he's done other stuff with other studios as well. But I don't know what he's gonna do after this. And what's really odd to me is that he's gonna go back to finish that season 2 of that anime. Me personally, I wouldn't go back, but I don't know exactly what happened. We do know that Vic Mignogna got his lawyers and attorneys involved, and maybe this was what he was wanting, is to finish this. Now, I want to explain just a few little more things here before I go into my actual opinion on this, because I feel that I want to share it, but I also want to share everything that's happened to this point. Just a brief summary, where Vic has been accused of doing inappropriate touching and inappropriate behavior in general with different people at cons and VAs and other people that have been around him. One thing that surfaced up during this was that there was a private Facebook group that were trying to make Vic seem even worse. And this information comes from this guy. His name is Yellow Flash 2. He's the one that covered this. And go watch his channel. Go watch this video. It's really interesting information. But basically, in essence, they wanted to Photoshop pictures of Vic with other con goers and make it look worse, like him putting his hand on the person's chest, or photoshopping it, or something else, doing something inappropriate. And some people were like, yeah, let's forward. Other people were like, no, we don't want to do that. And the person, like, even if it makes Vic look bad, like, they were willing to do anything to get Vic blacklisted. And that's first of all, that's terrible. Like, you don't want to fake evidence for something like this, because if you get caught being fake, then that can throw everything out the window. Everything that possibly could have happened, all these testimonies from the people, just throws out the window, because, like, no, there's too many people that are lying about this, and it just makes the case not viable anymore. Another thing that happened was that there were pictures that were being passed around, like, see, this is where he was touching someone inappropriately, kissing on the cheek or stroking their face, and the people who actually took the picture or who were in the picture had to give context, be like, you know what, no, this is not right. You can't use this as material for trying to shame Vic or saying that he was inappropriate. And they had to go and say, this is what happened. I asked for this. I wanted this as well. Other people in Chibi no podcast have given their opinions on it as well. From our group, saying that he is a very touchy-feely guy, but that they didn't feel uncomfortable about it. And some people don't. Some people don't, and some people do. And then the final thing was that Vic came out with an apology, both writing one and then making an actual statement at one of the cons, explaining that he had become lazy in the way that he has been, and that he assumed that everyone was okay with the type of behavior or the type of touching and the comfortable level, that it was all the same. And so he said, I'm sorry for that, and that he's changing, that he's no longer going to be doing that, and he just wants to keep doing what he loves. So we have that, but then we have, like, again, those really strong allegations from that don't show that it was just a simple, hug or an inappropriate hug. Like I said, Jamie Marchi's statement is that he grabbed her hair, said something, pulled it back to something sexual. She doesn't know what it was. We don't know what it was, but said something like that to make her feel uncomfortable. And that in her statement that there were other girls in the group or in the industry, in the anime industry, that had similar treatment. And so what I'm thinking is that Funimation investigated that, talked to those people, and then based on that information and based on whatever Vic's attorney said, that they did the recasting, but that they're no longer going to work with Vic. Now, my thoughts on the whole ordeal. There's one thing that Vic says, and I think it's something that we really need to take into account. And it says that there's two sides to every story. And I believe that's always true. There's, you don't want to take anything out of context. You want to get the full story and hear it and then make a decision out of it. You also have your personal bias. You want to report everything factual, but people that are, like, they're making videos like this, we also have our opinions on it. And my opinion and my stance is that I do want to believe in Vic and his innocence, in that I believe that his intent was not to hurt anyone. I do believe that he was wrong in getting comfortable in the way that he was greeting people, just because not everyone shares that level of affection for even for like people you look up to, that you don't want them to do that to you. I and even sorry. Kaylin Glass, she shared something about forgiving the sinner, and that's ultimately what I want is for him to, if he if these prove true, like Jamie Marchi's testimony on it, it's really hard to read, and it's really hard to picture Vic doing that. But I'm not saying that it's not impossible. I don't want to believe that's true, but again, if and at this point it's a he said she said thing. I mean, I've never seen him go and say, hey, I never did that to you. He's been really quiet on the situation, and then because he doesn't want to keep fighting with other people, and it's just it's really not a black and white thing, and that's what people are trying to make it seem. It's just, I guess I don't know too much about how victims of that type of behavior go on, because I've never had it, and most males haven't, I believe. And people say like women are more, it's happened more often to women, and I do believe that's true, and again, I can't understand everything that is going through their mind, just because I look at pictures and I look at all this stuff and these allegations, like, well, people in the anime industry, these girls are like, I see these girls who have testified and said, I felt like this the entire time. He's always been inappropriate. People are like, but why are you taking pictures with him? Like, there's one thing to work with people, but like if they wanted to take a picture with me and be like, hey, we're working, I'd be like, no, thank you. Like, I just don't. Again, that might just be me, and I don't want to insult anyone with how I with my words, and I don't want to belittle these people who honestly feel that they were violated, because it is a serious issue. But I don't believe that we need to crucify Vic. And if he has issues, mental issues, then get him help. Let's try and fix it so he doesn't do that anymore. If that's the case, I feel like he's trying to make steps to be better. And honestly, with all this stuff that people are saying and how people feel, there's always a consequence to it. And maybe the consequence that he does have to take a step back. He does have to do some sort of cleansing or whatever it needs. And maybe that's not the right word, but he has to do something so that he can gain the trust of people again, of these women, or show something. Like I said, or show that he is not what people make him out to be. And for those who feel violated, who were violated, I truly am sorry that happened to you. And we want those people to know that they're loved and that we're looking out for them. And like I said, this is a very tricky thing. Like, it's not black and white. It is a very complicated matter, and I hope that we can just have open discussions about it and not drop him off and not call him either saying that he's completely innocent or saying that he needs to be crucified. Like, there can't be these two extremes. There just can't be. And so hopefully that we can have an open discussion about this, and that hopefully that he can get back on his feet and start doing what he loves to do. But if it's not possible for him, and if he really did unspeakable things, that he gets help for that. It might sound like I'm wishy-washy on this, but like I said, my whole stance on it just is not. It's not black and white, unfortunately, because this situation is not like that. So, Let me know what you guys think. I know this might be a polarizing video, and most of you might have an opinion one way or another. These are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours. Please leave a comment. Check out and investigate this for yourself and make up your own decision. And either keep it to yourself or share it like I do. So thanks so much for listening. This is David the Smash Fan, and I'm out.